Hello, everybody, and welcome to Your World on a Canvas. There are so many things I want to talk about today. But first, let's start with sports. Let's talk about the various factions calling out for the changing of names of various sports that African Americans are prominent in, such as football with the Redskins and the Cleveland Indians. But I do want to bring about another name that I believe that should be removed. Um, what about the Blackhawks? Hockey. I don't hear anybody calling out for that to be changed. But then I thought about it a little bit more. The derogatory terms, the gross caricatures that the Cleveland Indians use, and also the Redskins to some extent, the name itself. The terms that they used when they slaughtered, when they wanted to call um, native original people other than. It's just like them using the N word with us. So, well, the Blackhawks, okay, it's just the Blackhawks, Chicago Blackhawks, all right. There's nothing derogatory. They named it after the name of, a Native American faction. So that's fine. But yet still, I still don't hear them speaking out about injustices. Baseball, football, not even golf. And I haven't heard them talk about really any of the prominent athletes talk about the injustices that are going on here in this country. And that is because if you look in the landscape of those sports, how many of them of us are in those sports? Not many. And those of us who are there or who are aspired to be prominent or one of the greatest or the greatest in their sport, they are still facing the prejudices that we face here daily, just like everybody else. But I feel it's probably tenfold because when they walk into that locker room, there is no one that looks like them. If you go into upper management, there is still no one that looks like them. And as they skate across the great divide of ice hockey, and you see, not only do they denigrate them, you know, maybe blatantly open, or let Subban, let Subban tell you about his struggles, the things that he faced, and also think about what they use to play the sport, what it may represent. You skate on a white hockey rink, and what do you hit with the wooden stick? A black puck. Those are the things that are still prominent in hockey. Now, okay, I'm not going to tell them, okay, you got to change the puck because it's black, but you could see the inference, the framework for racism within that. They drove us out of baseball mostly. First, they forced our league to close, to take our stars. And then, as they recruit, they don't nurture the stars that sport here within the country. They go outside to look for others that more look like what they look like, so that they could keep their fan base as it is. Go on again with Bubba Wallace. I still think he should change his name, Bubba. That's a ridiculous thing, especially what that word, when you hear that name, the images that come up in my mind, I don't know about yours, but when I hear the word Bubba, it isn't a very nice person that I picture in my mind when I hear that word. It's crazy, crazy. Then we move forward. We still have these pundits talking about Cam Newton, talking about, oh, how dare he come into Boston and be bold and be himself. But isn't that the nature of your true self? The nature of your true self is to just be, no matter what anyone says around you. You stay the course. You ride the turbulence out. Just because a wave threatens to engulf you, you don't change course. You don't change the course of your life because you will still get through it. So that is what Cam chooses to do. And I guarantee you he'll be successful in New England. He will be. We forget Cam Newton is a former first round pick. He's a former number 1 pick. Injuries that because he wanted to be a team player, as all football players do, no matter what the injury, they will go out there and play because they know there is someone there to take their spot. Football is one sport where nothing is guaranteed. Your money's not guaranteed after your signing bonus. So that is why they try to get us a big signing bonus before they sign on that dotted line, because that signing bonus will set them up if they take care of it. So they can't afford to take reps off. This situation was a blessing in disguise for him. Mentally, he got to renew himself. Physically, and that's a lot with everybody else. Even we as everyday people, this is our opportunity to reset ourselves. And we sit there and lay mired in the same situations. And then after we move through this, God willing, safely, and hopefully with not much more damage than this person in office has done to us, to this country. When you get through to the other side of this, what can you say that you've accomplished? See, that is Cam's focus. What's on the other side? But if we sit there and wallow in what is there and not do anything to change the tides for ourselves, then we are really in trouble. All right? And you know me, I always have to try to give a little bit of insight. So let's talk about the Boston Celtics. Let's go on from there. Boston Celtics, favorite basketball team. Now, people are doubting them, and I believe that they will make it to the NBA Finals. I really and truly believe that. And let me tell you why I believe this. I believe that they'll make it to the NBA Finals because, all right, here's a lot of my friends know this. I do play 2K. I don't play I don't play against people. I play against the computer. For some reason, I enjoy playing against the computer. So this is what I did. Jason Tatum is an all-star, okay, his first all-star game. So I played on the all-star level. So with the AI then, Jason Tatum, by all accounts, should, be playing at all-star level throughout the whole season. And I played like a 56-game season. That's what I played. So we ended up, the Celtics in my 2K, we ended up with first place, not only in the Eastern Conference, but in the whole league. We had a home court advantage throughout. And I won every round 4-0. Now, I'm not saying the Celtics will do that, but in 2K, that's what happened. Jason Tatum was a lone Celtic in my version that made the All-Star team, so that came true as it did in real life. He was my only All-Star player. At the end of the season in my 2K version, he got hurt. I'm like, oh man, how am I going to win the championship without Jason? But when I looked, it was a calf injury. So guess who stepped up? My boy, Jaylen Brown. People keep underestimating this brother. Jaylen Brown is the real deal. That boy got the killer instinct. He's just there. You could see it. You could see he's a caged tiger waiting to be released. He's not worried about Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum's not worried about him in the sense that, dude, we can't do this alone. Hey, you feasting? Dude, I'm going to feed you more. Here. You my brother. I'm proud. And people, early in the season try to, break them apart with the questions they asked Jaylen. Like, Jaylen, how do you feel now that Jason got All-Star and you were snubbed? It's like, hey, We have a great record, something like that. He said, you know, I'm not worried about that. Jason, that's my dude. That's my boy. Boy, I'm proud. I'm glad he did it. He said, my day will come, but our objective is greater than that. The maturity of this young man. But I'm telling you, Jaylen Brown is a beast. He is a beast. So when Jason went down, Jaylen Brown took over from the playoffs. Gordon, he was like that train, little choo-choo train. I think I can. He just kept on chugging and chugging and chugging. And he plugged his play. He's got a plug and play type of style. That's what I've realized about Gordon Hayward. Because when I first started playing with him in 2K, I'm like, I don't like this boy. I didn't really give him that much run. But then I incorporated my bench more. I kept him going. And I mean, there were days when he was just hot, dishing dimes, playing great defense. Between him and Jalen, they took the pressure off of Jason. So Jason didn't even have to really show up, do his thing till the third quarter or the fourth, whenever we needed him. Meanwhile, Jason was playing defense, scoring here. They're not really exerting himself, but letting his teammates do the work for him until they needed him. And I hope that that really works for them in real life, because before the break, before this whole pandemic situation, they were starting to hit, like they were trying to, there was something going on. They weren't clicking all cylinders. I think Kemba was starting to feel like, well, where's my place within all this? On top of his injury, his confidence, I believe his confidence was a little bit shaken. So Kemba, this was great for him also. Kemba doesn't need to score 20, 25 points a game, which y'all don't realize. The threat of Kemba, and that's what I used him as. He only averaged like 16 points for me throughout my whole season. Maybe 6, 7, no, about 8 dimes. 16 points, 8 dimes. He was dropping dimes. And when he had to, when everybody else was struggling, he stepped up. He was hitting points for me. And this is what I expect from Kemba Walker. That's the type of leadership. In that way, he's not backing down. He's not being subservient to Jason, because he was like big up in Jason so much when he first got there, which is fine, you know. But Jason didn't need any confidence boost. You know, Jason was just relieved. Okay, I know I love Kyrie, but dude, I can't play. I can't play with you, dude. You're my bro, but I can't play with you. And I think that's how all of them felt. Off the court, probably Kyrie's the greatest dude, but on the court, oil and vinegar, man. Oil and vinegar. Doesn't mix, man. Just was this oil slick. It was done. Can't be done with Kyrie there. So Kemba is the better version. If Kyrie had the type of mentality that Kemba had, oh my God, the leadership this boy would have zoomed. But he hasn't gotten it. I don't think he'll ever get it. And he might just get it when he's almost broke in terms of talent, not money, and that it's his last hurrah as a veteran, and he finally got it, and he's going to bring a championship to someone. But in his youth, in this stage, I don't even know if Kyrie will ever get it. So, and then think about who else we have on the Celtics. Oh man, I'm talking about dude. Oh my God, why forget my son's name? Daniel Theis. There you go, Daniel Theis. I mean, Daniel barely scored for him, but his defense. I mean, I rotated him with Time Lord and plugged in Ennis Cantor here and there, and that was my three-headed monster for the season. I just kept on rotating them. I had a rotation going, and I believe that's what Brad Stevens envisioned, but Time Lord just got getting hurt again. Now, all this time off has helped Time Lord. So now his youth, I put him in between, like give him like the last minute of each quarter, where you really, like if you have a 5-10 point lead and you really need a defender to keep them out of the middle, Time Lord's your man. That's what, because his bounce, dude got some incredible bounce. I had him boofing on people all day long. All right, so I believe they're going to come out of the East. Let's look at the Raptors. The Raptors, now see, they're dangerous, and it's like a wounded animal, because everybody thinks that because of Kawhi, that's the only reason they won. But you got to think about it. The circumstances prevent the Warriors from winning, right? Because they were on the way to coming back. If you remember, in that game 4, before Klay Thompson injured himself, and once he injured himself, it was all on Steph, and he just couldn't do it. You've got to remember those things. So as much as you want to say, "Oh wow, Kawhi is it," Kawhi got lucky. Just it happens in sports. Sometimes your big stars fall down in the biggest moment and they cannot get back up because of injury. And the other person benefits from it. And that's what happened. I'm not diminishing the championship. They went through the season, they went through the grind, they came out healthier, and so they won. Plain and simple. But let's not forget the massive injuries that the Golden State Warriors suffered, and they're my favorite team on the West Coast. In fact, they're my second favorite team after the Celtics. All right, and I liked them when Mark Jackson was coaching them. So you cannot say that I'm a bandwagoner. I loved them from the time Mark Jackson was coaching them, and when it was gone, it hurt my heart. And then Steve Kerr came along. It's not his fault. So there was no animosity, and he continued, and he brought them the 3 championships. Should have been more, but hey, shoulda, woulda, coulda. That's like anything else in life. So let's move on. Let's get back to the East. The Raptors. Let's talk about the Raptors. And as the current reigning champions, and still they are the dark horse. Siakam. Fred VanVleet, my gosh, that boy, I saw him at Wichita State, and then like he never got drafted, and then I saw that the Toronto Raptors picked him up. I'm like, okay, but I didn't know the man was like that. You see, the heart this man has, man. He dropped bombs on you. That 3 ball, he'll drop it on you. Fearless, man, fearless. So they're all right. Let's see, matching up. We have our premier defender, Marcus Smart. So we need to beat them if we come up against them. We match up well with them. I think we could run them. The key was our centers were injured. Our key young piece, Tamo. Y'all just don't know. Watch. This man is healthy right now, and hopefully from watching and everything, he could these last 8 games that they play, that it will show enough results that he'll be part of the rotation. That's all we need him for. Defend, catch lobs. That's it for now, because we have enough offensive power. Okay, so let's see. If the Celtics meet up against the 76ers, that there is the ultimate. I think that's our kryptonite. We can beat them. Because the first time this year, Kemba not understanding the rivalry, the grind, I think that kind of messed it up a little bit. But now he's better. I don't know. I still pick them over in Philly. I pick them over the Bucks too. All the Bucks have is Giannis. Chris Middleton, he's an average Joe, and I hate to put it that way. He is an average Joe. Yeah, he'll get you points and all that. But where's the dog in him when you really need him? He's steady, yeah, he comes along steady. But see, Giannis needs another dog beside him, and he doesn't have it. So let's see what the news next year brings if Giannis is with the Golden State Warriors, because that's the rumor out there. Who else that may be able to upset us? I even think the Pacers, even though Oladipo is not playing, the Pacers. Yeah, with Malcolm Brogdon, that dude. Who understands to stop him? Even Marcus Smart has a hard time defending because he's just built just like Marcus Smart, built just like him, and he is fearless. So those are the only other teams that the Celtics have to worry about. But I'm telling you, dude, the Celtics are ready to feast. They're going to feast on the East. They are going to feast. That's the team I'm talking about.